All right. It's been a great week. Episode 82 of DSP versus the Internet has been a good one. But now it is time to end it with the final part. Let's see what videos are remaining. Let's see what YouTube divvies out to us here. ESRB is a failure.
When I was a kid, I really hated being treated like a kid. I wanted to grow up and grow up fast. I didn't want to be told what to do, and I certainly didn't want to be seen playing kids' games. I wanted to play...
I was never like that. I would play whatever games I thought were good. I liked Mario, which was a kid's game, but I liked adult-rated games. I liked everything. I wasn't some edgelord who wanted to like, oh, I must be edgy. Everything must be edgy. Everything I play must be adult-oriented and edgy. No, I wasn't like that. I just liked all different kinds of games.
Like grown-up games with grown-up stories. I told my parents this, and I was given a swift reminder that I was 8 years old.
No.
And I came home from EB Games that day with a copy of Shadow the Hedgehog. There's something reductive about the dichotomy between games for children...
He came back from EB Games with a copy of Shadow the Hedgehog who has a Uzi in his hand.
...and games for adults. Games marketed towards children are usually still violent. Sometimes they even still fill themselves with demonic monsters and fluent, albeit mild, profanity. As a kid and young teen, I played a lot of mature-rated games behind my parents' back.
How? How did you do that? Are parents just ignorant or something? Like, my parents knew every game I was playing. They were never, you know what I mean? They knew if I played a violent game. They knew I was playing Mortal Kombat. They didn't care. All right? They didn't. They trusted me. They're like, we know that you're not going to become an ultra-violent person and rip out someone's spine. It's okay for you to play Mortal Kombat. They didn't give a shit. Okay? So what is it that I don't know. It's weird. Like, how did you sneak games behind your parents' back? I don't even understand that. How did you do that? How did you get a game into the house, start playing it, and they didn't know what you were playing? I don't know. Inattentive parents, I guess.
And as an adult in my 20s, I've spent plenty of time with games designed for children. Today, I can recognize games like Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog for what they are. Well-designed, playful games made to be enjoyed by players of all ages. But as a preteen, my gravitation towards titles like Mass Effect, Halo 3, and Grand Theft Auto 4 had nothing to do with the murder, and everything to do with the fact that basically zero games aimed at someone of my age were polished and made with a high standard of quality.
Is that true? I strongly disagree there. Any Nintendo game first party it's made for kids, but man, they are well polished and well produced. So I don't know about that. Maybe the problem is that's the exception, or that's the rule, is that it has to be Nintendo. Maybe if you just don't want to constantly be playing Nintendo games, maybe he does have a point. I received a $15 tip. Phil, thanks for the updated video game schedule. Looking forward to watching new gameplays. Cheers. You're welcome. Someone had specifically asked for me to do that, and that's why I did it this morning on the Level 1 podcast. And I will have that actually broken out as an individual video later tonight when I do my highlights. I will make sure that is its own separate thing that you can watch and not have to watch the whole podcast show if you're interested. Thank you so much. That gets us up to 115 and climbing. We are so close to our goal for the day. Let's see if we can hit it by the end of this video. Here we go.
Except for those with reductively simple stories, characters, or gameplay. What was the difference?
Lady Charisma says you would go to your friend's house and that's how you would play games like that. All right, maybe in that case, you're sneaking it at a friend's house or something where they're allowed to play that stuff and you're not. Okay, that I get. But the way he said it was like he was sneaking games into his house and playing them. His parents didn't know. Like, how do they not know? Are you playing it on mute so they don't hear the sound effects or something? Like, I'm really confused about that.
Between Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, an E-rated game, and Need for Speed Most Wanted, a T-rated game. The latter was brown and had about 5 minutes of live-action story cutscenes wherein people with bad haircuts threaten to steal your ride and your girl. There's no profanity, nobody dies, despite all logic saying they probably should, and lyrics are conservatively censored, not only to remove profanity, but basically anything referencing sex, guns, or violence. There was nothing objectionable about Most Wanted, but when my parents gave me Hot Pursuit 2 at the age of 3, it took weeks of persuading from my older cousin before my mom would...
You gave your kid Need for Speed Hot Pursuit at the age of 3? Boy, I just feel like there's entire generations of people who don't know anything about video games at all. Like, what? No, you give your kid like Mario Kart at the age of 3. You don't give them Need for Speed Hot Pursuit at the age of 3. This is a wild video, man.
Cave and buy me Most Wanted, simply because of this letter on the box. There is nothing in Most Wanted that can't be done in its E-rated predecessors. It just happened to be the best implementation of those features at the time. Yet kids with parents like mine had to fight to be allowed to experience it. One of my favorite games to this.
So basically what he's saying is his parents just didn't know anything about the games. They would just look at the label, and if it said E, give it to your kid. If it said T, don't give it to the kid. They didn't even look at the subject matter of the games or anything. They just said, oh, as long as they actually believed the rating system. Well, that's pretty hands-off, lazy fucking parenting if I ever heard it, right? Seriously. Oh, man. I've just received a $10 tip from Tarantula MS, who says, hey, you Phil. What's going on, Tarantula? Good to have you. I know you haven't been around for a little bit. Welcome back. I hope you're enjoying the content today. And thank you so much for the contribution. I'll play the animation and keep this video rolling.
This day is Mass Effect 2, a game that came out when I was 11 years old and that I played at age 12. Mass Effect 2 carries a mature rating, and admittedly, there are moments over the trilogy's 100-hour runtime that earn that. But for the most part, the Mass Effect trilogy contains nothing you wouldn't find in a PG-13 movie. Zombie-like humanoid enemies, laser gun shootouts, and some light over-the-clothes space boning.
I don't even remember if they use a lot of obscenity. Jack does in Mass Effect 2. She always used the F word over and over. But outside of that, I don't even know if anyone really swears.
As a whole, has little objectionable content, while featuring well-written, compelling characters, fascinating world-building, and debatably the best sci-fi story in an RPG. There was no reason for Mass Effect to cause the media outcry that it did, until Fox News went and said every white suburban mom's least favorite words. Content ratings have always been a bit arbitrary, but I feel the reasons for the necessity have either fundamentally changed or disappeared altogether. In the 1990s, when the US government forced the industry to self-regulate, the concept of video games with adult content was a relatively new one. But today, the ESRB serves little of its original purpose. With the rise of mobile gaming and games as a service, fewer games aimed at children are being made in the first place. But I'd argue that even before smartphones took over the market segment previously occupied by handhelds, the ESRB was doing a pretty shit job. Exhibit A. The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion was originally rated T for teen, but sometime after release, modders were able to restore cut content presumably cut from the final release to keep the T rating. This couldn't be done without external software, and as far as I know, it was only possible on the PC version of the game. So naturally, the ESRB pulled all versions of the game from shelves and re-rated them mature, over content that wasn't accessible without modification.
Wow.
When Halo 2 for Windows Vista released in 2007, a single employee was responsible for delaying its release for weeks. Back in the good old days of PC shooters, there were these things called map editors that let the community run wild and make whatever they could dream up, with the same tools as the developers used to make the game's actual levels. With that amount of freedom, though, comes a lack of training wheels, meaning users can break things. And one of the errors that can occur in Halo 2's map editor has something to do with the file extension .ass. Bungie being the frat house of a developer they were back then, one of the programmers thought it'd be hilarious to include a shot of him mooning the camera in the error message should this occur.
Oh my
Harmless,
lord.
right? I mean, it's a butt. Everyone's got one. ESRB demanded that every single copy of the game, which had already been printed and in some cases shipped to stores, be pulled from shelves.
Alright, I think we get the point. The ESRB doesn't know what the hell they're doing. They never did. They do an awful job. I mean, that's the point, right? So, okay, here's the truth. Parents should not, in any way, shape, or form, be reliant on any regulatory body or any rating system to parent their kids. Parents should parent their children by themselves. They should actually put time and effort into learning what their kids are into, what they're doing. They should care, because that's your kid. You had the kid. You're responsible for that human as it grows and matures. And you should be making sure that they're doing things that are age appropriate. And, you know, that's the parent's responsibility as a parent. The problem is too many people pop out the baby and now, oh, whatever. It's out into the world, does whatever it wants, right? And that's the problem. Oh, wait. So I got to figure out what to buy my kid for Christmas. This is E for everyone. This is T for teen. This is M. So I'll just grab a random game based on the rating or whatever. No. It's called effort. When you have a kid, that's not the only responsibility. You now are responsible to raise that child into a human that's going to be a productive member of society that will not be insane and do insane things and act a certain way. You know, they have to be raised well. Okay? You have to be. It's insane to think that these people think, I'll just have kids, and then I have no responsibility whatsoever to make sure that that kid will actually become a productive human. Yes, you do. That's actually your job. That's what being a parent is. If you're not doing that, you're not a parent. You're a schlub, and you're fucking with society, because now we got to deal with these incomplete people that are coming out of you that grow up to be messes, right? Seriously, it's your fault. You were the parent. You were supposed to do that. Shame on you for not doing it, all right? It's not the ESRB's job or anyone else's job to raise your fucking kids. So, if anything, what this is telling me, this guy who made this video, his parents were terrible parents. They didn't fucking do the right things. They just relied on the ESRB. They gave him Need for Speed, whatever the one was, that had more mature content than the one that came later, but they wouldn't let him play the one that was later because it was rated for teen. Stupid shit. Okay, let's continue. Next video.
It's time for your Science Buzz this morning, and I want to start with this story. For the first time ever, we have video and footage from a hurricane on the ocean surface. Scientists with Sail Drone and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration drove this uncrewed surface vehicle called a USV named SD-1045 inside Hurricane Sam this past week. This is pretty incredible. This instrument is battling 50-foot waves, winds of over 120 miles per hour in the right front quadrant of the Category 4 hurricane at the time. Sail Drone's fleet of these new USVs collected critical scientific data, and they can also give us a new view into one of Earth's most destructive forces. Sail drones can also be modified to map the seafloor.
Am I supposed to be fascinated by what we're looking at? It just looks like fucking water, right? What? Have I not seen something exactly like this 5 zillion times in my life? Wow, this is scientifically fascinating. Why? What are we seeing here that's special? I mean, they're acting like this is some big deal. Why is this a big deal? Why isn't she even explaining it? She's explaining, okay, this is what it is, but why is this special? Why, you know?
And track fish and other aquatic life.
Amazing. 10 reasons BMWukong isn't that great. I'll watch some of this, but I'm not going to watch the whole thing. Yeah, invisible walls are fucking annoying in that game. Stupid.
Welcome to Mojo Plays, and I was enjoying this game a bunch until all this Game of the Year buzz started. Then the contrarian in me started being a little bitch. These are 10 reasons why BMWukong isn't that great. BMWukong is a good game, but the reason 10 out of 10 is reserved for games like God of War, Elden Ring, and Red Dead Redemption 2 is because they aren't filled with more glaring issues than I can count on my hands. 8 out of 10 is still a very respectable score, guys. Before we continue, we publish content all week long, so be sure to subscribe. Frame rate / stuttering issues, PC players falling through the map at random points, and Xbox players simply waiting for the game after finding out a month ago the release was going to be delayed due to technical issues. We can see that BMWukong has started their journey a little shaky, but somehow this doesn't seem to have affected audience response, because apparently I'm the only person whinging. I'm gonna whinge for another 9 entries. Let's go. Level design / no map. Here's an entry that at least half of it we can all agree. I'd just like to say
this is hilarious because you're gonna notice all his content is gonna be only from the first 2 to 3 chapters. I don't even know. Do you think games journalists actually got past chapter 3? I don't think they did. I think they played it to chapter 3 and just rated it. That was it. Because how can you say the game is great during or after chapter 3? It's terrible, right? I would argue the game is quite good all the way through chapter 2, and then chapter 3 hits, and you're like,
agree on. So let's start with that half. The fact that the game has no map and no way to find where you are in the local environment is not a good design choice. It feels lazy.
And the problem with that design choice is when you get to chapter 3, the entire map looks the same. It's all this big open snow area, and you easily get lost. You end up going in circles. You don't realize it. It really is terrible level design to not have a map. If you have a map, it ain't a big deal. Without a map, it just becomes fucking super annoying and you don't care about the game anymore.
And only aims to highlight the weak level design. That's right, I'm calling out the level design. Come for me. Please don't come for me, I'm very sensitive. Once you're in a world, once you're in a chapter, the actual elements that build up that world are just, unfortunately, not that diverse. Now, the levels are beautiful, not as beautiful as we were led to believe through trailers, but the actual level design and layout has come under criticism from a bunch of players. The worst example of this being Chapter 3, which overstays its welcome well and truly. Dying doesn't matter. I'm not the dictator of what is and what isn't a Souls-like game, and if you go to the internet to see what people are saying, you're gonna notice the entire audience is split. For me personally, a lot of the game appears incredibly Souls-like. The Souls vibes can be seen through every single one of the games and other content that instigates negative discourse. I encourage you to look into some of the things the studio's team have said in the last couple of years, because it's pretty wild. I've got a thick skin, but even I was reading some of this stuff and saying, good lord. Regardless of whether you believe in separating the artist from the art, it's odd for a developer to dictate how a reviewer can talk about a game. And although this doesn't affect the actual game, I wouldn't buy my groceries from my local supermarket if the supermarket had posters saying fatties should f*** off, something they actually did. Some people just aren't happy giving money to bad people, which I think is valid. Unbalanced.
Oh, I don't even know anything about that. He's saying people had issue with the game because the developer was like bad or something. I don't know anything about that at all. I just played the fucking game.
Black Myth Wukong may well be one of the more fun games I've played this year, regardless of what I've been saying up until this point. Like I said, 8 out of 10 is still a good game, but I don't live in black and whites. I thrive in the grey, and in the grey is where I'm quite happy to say that regardless of how much I enjoy it, Black Myth Wukong is one of the most unbalanced games I've ever experienced. With some bosses being so hard to beat it's borderline broken, following straight after a boss that was like cutting through butter, the game has a difficulty reminiscent of a Skrillex waveform. While the powers of the Destined One are thrilling, the base combos feel disappointingly weak and lack impact, which ties straight into our next entry. Combat is a mixed bag.
Yep.
At its best,
I'm seriously, I don't know about the I don't like the studio part, but dude, everything he's criticizing about the game, in my opinion, is 100% correct. He's right on every point.
Black Myth Wukong can feel like a finely tuned dance, requiring precise timing and understanding of your different stances. At its worst, the combat in Black Myth Wukong can feel like awkwardly grinding on a girl at the Year 10 formal while the girl you actually wanted to dance with is in the toilets making out with Justin Luglin. I shouldn't have used his real name. There's a certain button-mashy nature to the combat that is made apparent in the tankier boss fights, which makes dying and starting from scratch even more tedious than in similar games.
Yeah.
While similar games provide a euphoric sense of accomplishment when defeating their toughest boss fights, you don't really get this in Black Myth Wukong, because sometimes you don't even mean to be that good. Oh, and I know I need to move on, but the single weapon adds to this feeling of underwhelming tedium. Seriously, one weapon across the whole game? I'll shut up now. Inconsequential story.
Dude, everything he's saying is right. The story doesn't matter. The combat's too repetitive, and it loses its impact. Everything he's saying is correct. So yeah, I mean, listen, I played it for 3 chapters, right? We got so bored with the game, it killed my streak. It literally is the reason why this king streak says 9 instead of 51 right now. People just hated it, including me. It was so fucking boring. I don't want to play it anymore. It loses its originality in chapter 3, and then there's no point to continuing the game. So, you know, it's just everything he's saying is correct. People fucking went crazy over this game when it came out because it was in the middle of the summer, which rarely do you get giant profile games in the middle of the summer, right? And sorry, it's not that good. It's for me, it's not even an 8. I'm serious. Like for me, if I were to rate the game right now for as far as I played it, I would give it like maybe a 7. And I don't want to continue playing a 7 past chapter 3 when I've just found out I'm only halfway through the game and it actually is more of the same moving forward. I have people in my chat saying, just so you know, chapter 4 is almost exactly the same as chapter 3. It's shorter, but it definitely is more repetition, more of the same fucking crap. I'm like, wow, I'm not playing this shit no more. And that's why I actually quit it, because I couldn't stand it. So, okay. I agree with everything in. That was actually a good video. It was laid out well. Okay.
Lithophone.
Playing the Home Alone theme on different xylophones. Cool.
Slopophone.
Oh, he's doing different songs. I'm sorry, the whole Peaches thing, I didn't care about the song. I don't remember it at all. So I don't even know what this song is. I don't get the dumb meme. Why is he going so long on it? It sucks. The song sucks.
Quayon.
Here's a notable song that everyone knows. This one I'm cool with.
Euphonic array.
A world of pure imagination. It's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, starring Gene Wilder, the late great. Now that's cool. That's a cool instrument. Clown robbery. What is this going to be?
Hey everybody, this is a stick-up. Quit clowning around and freeze. Get back! Get the fuck back! Hey ma'am, would you like to smell my flower? I always knew I could make the ladies wet.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Hey sir, you look like you could use a makeover. Put the money in the bag, or I'll be forced to do something drastic.
Wow, what a neat trick!
I love clowns.
I don't get it. What was it supposed to be? Was it supposed to be a comedy? Was it supposed to be scary, stupid? I have no idea what we just saw. What was that? All that was shrug-inducing to me. You got me.
Fast food. A staple of America. A staple of the whole planet at this point. Fast food is
All right,
everywhere.
I guess
and there's
this will be our last video, I guess, for the week. Since we are, this is the end of the show right now. This will be the last video for the week. So thanks to everyone who supported and submitted videos for this week. All the members, I appreciate that. If you like this show, if you become an Ultra member, you can be guaranteed to have your video watched next week. And if you become a submissions tier, you can go into the random playlist like we just did for the last 90 minutes and get a chance to be watched. Okay? All right, let's see what the last video is.
a lot of mid. And there's a lot of fast food places that you shouldn't eat because it's ass, in my opinion. Now let's get
All right, here we
the
go.
obvious out
Overrated
of the
fast food.
All right, put the pitchforks down. It's mid. It's not really as bad as Arby's, of course. Those gordita crunches will send you to another dimension. The aftermath of Taco Bell is just not worth it in my eyes. Like, I'm gonna legalize nuclear bombs, shout out Joey on the toilet. And if I were in a public area, I would shut down the bathroom. Like, that shit would be out of order.
Okay. When I was growing up, Taco Bell was meant to be the fast food place that you could spend very little money and you can get a lot of food. Like the tacos were like $1, right? So you could go in there. Actually, they were like 79 cents or something like that. So you could go in there and get like a taco combo for like $5 and it would be like 3 tacos and like a side of crisps or something, or the chips and the queso and a drink. It would be $5, right? Today, Taco Bell is fucking expensive because inflation has inflated the prices of everything. I'm not kidding you. That same taco combo is like $10. It's like double the price. So it's no longer value food. There's some things there that I like the flavor of. You know it's not good for you, and you know it's not authentic. For example, their chicken quesadilla is such a joke because it's nothing like an authentic quesadilla, but as like a snack food, it's some chicken with some cheese tossed in with some spicy, or not spicy, like a tangy sauce, and they flatten it, and you could rip it into the triangles, and it actually tastes pretty good. I like that, but I don't like for the price. I'm not even kidding you. The chicken quesadilla is like $7, $8. Or if you get the combo, it's like $10. It's like, what? It's a chicken quesadilla. It's not even good. It's small. You would think it's like a snack food, or it's like an appetizer. You would think that's like the main course of your meal, right? So it's bizarre to me that that food is as expensive as it is today, because it didn't used to be known like that. Like Taco Bell used to be the place that stayed open late and was cheap. So I'd be coming back from like the arcade late at night, back when I was in, my late teens, early 20s. And the arcade would be open till like 1, 2 in the morning. And then Taco Bell was right down the street. I mean, all my friends would stop at Taco Bell. And we'd each spend like $5 and get a bunch of food. And we just sit there in the parking lot eating it. But it's lost its identity completely because it's not cheap anymore. So I don't know why anyone would eat there. I really don't understand it. Why would you go there and spend like $3 for a bean burrito that's worth 25 cents? I'm lost. Of the things on the menu, my favorite thing is the chalupa, the chicken supreme chalupa, because then you get the chicken, the lettuce, tomato, cheese, sour cream. You can put sauce on yourself, and the chalupa shell is tasty, but it's way too expensive. The chalupa combo is like $9, $10. So I don't want to spend that much money for that quality of food. So I really don't get it. I don't understand Taco Bell anymore. I received a $4.20 tip. I demand we watch the panty robber vid from last week. We left off on a cliffhanger. You're absolutely right. We did. We were watching the finale of that video and we ran out of time. Maybe we'll just go and click the finale of that part of it to see it. Because you're right. It was a cliffhanger. Thank you for that. And that gets us up to 129. So we're right there, folks. We're right there to continuing the streak. All right. He said Taco Bell. Let's see what else he says. Burger King.
Fights everything that Burger King has ever done, bro. They made a red Spider-Man burger. That shit looks mutant. Who is eating that? Absolutely nobody. The only way I'm eating it is if it was gonna keep me alive, and that's it. Like, ugh, it's got the fucking black sesame seeds on there. Like, goddamn, bro. It looks like they just sprinkled road tar on the burger and called it a day. All right, look, I know McDonald's has the Travis Scott burger or whatever, but it's definitely way more appetizing than this. In-N-Out. Now, look.
I don't have any problems with their colored burger. I've had different ones. I had the black one for Halloween, and that tasted fine. It's just the food coloring in the friggin' in the bun. I don't know why he has so many problems with that, right?
Look, the burger I had, it was decent. It wasn't anything crazy. But you should have seen the goddamn line when I went. That shit extended around the whole building and then some more.
Same thing for me. So in 2012, I went to California to attend E3. And while I was out there, all my viewers at the time had said, you got to try In-N-Out when you're out there. Keep in mind, I still lived in Connecticut back then. It's like, In-N-Out, you got to try In-N-Out. So I waited in line, no lie. It was like a 35, 40-minute wait at In-N-Out to get this burger that I would think that we got it animal style or something, whatever it is. And we go to eat it, and we're like, it tastes just like any other burger I could have gotten anywhere else. Like, no lie, there's places back in Connecticut that have much better burgers than the In-N-Out burger. You don't wait at all. You just walk right up and get the burger. So myself and my friend John, who we'd eaten it, we each had our own. We were just shocked. We're like, I don't understand this at all. Like, who even likes this, and why the fuck would you wait in a line for this? It made absolutely no sense.
Well, you could just see it casually driving down the road and be like, oh, yep, that's the In-N-Out line. So me and my friends waited about 30 minutes for our order. And that shit was ass. My friend had a goddamn raw burger and he didn't even eat it. Long story short, it was definitely not worth waiting 30 minutes for. It's decent. Like, I would take it over some other fast food places, of course.
I wouldn't.
It's so overhyped.
I literally
the burgers
wouldn't.
were decent, but the fries were terrible. Those Johns were so
I don't even remember the fries. All I remember is the burger was not good.
sweaty. It just felt like they soaked all the fries in water. They had no crunch to them at all. Subway. All right, this one's okay. All right, it's nothing crazy, but I'd rather go to like goddamn Jersey Mike's. Like, there's just
of course, everyone. Subway was supposed to be the first major sandwich shop, and they were, but then they lowered their quality so much that all their food tasted awful. And then all these competitors started standing up to them with much better ingredients. At Jersey Mike's, you can get a fresh cheesesteak cooked for you right there in front of you. And it smells amazing. Everything you get is fresh. They got much better ingredients. There's other places too. What's the other one? Man, I can't remember what the other one's called right now. But it's also super good. The one that makes the fresh stuff there in front of you. Subway's the worst out of all of them. You know, they really are.
Options. And just make the sandwich at home, bro. Like, you could easily make Subway at your house. And there's nothing that really stands out about Subway. It's like whipping up a sandwich with deli meat at your own house. Like, that's basically it. It's clutch when there's nothing else in the area, but that's really about it. White Castle.
Right.
It just wasn't doing it for me. The bread to meat ratio.
White Castle, when I ate White Castle, I really liked it. But again, I would go to a tournament in New Jersey. And I'd be driving home through New York State because there were no White Castles in Connecticut. But we'd be driving home on the highway through New York State. And we would get off the exit to eat at White Castle. And I thought it was good. It was little craveable burgers. They're kind of greasy, but you get the onions and the cheese on there. And then you get the chicken rings. Those were unique. I never had chicken rings anywhere before. I thought the food was quite good. But I've only had it a couple times at the restaurant. Well, years later, I tried to get those frozen White Castle slider burgers at the local grocery store. Those are fucking terrible. That shit is like disgusting. It just tastes nothing like the real burger at the place at all. I don't even know how they could sell them with that branding because it's not even close to being the same product. But at the restaurant, I liked it.
It's trash. Like, I'd rather eat a burger at a pub restaurant. That's like the thing about these fast food joints. Like, if I'm gonna eat a mid-meal, like, it better be good for my health. Now, next we have any fast food place that's in an amusement park. You know it's gonna be terrible. The quality's only a little bit above school cafeteria food. I was at an amusement park, ordered a burger, that shit literally tasted like a rubber tire. And on top of that, amusement parks charge heavy for even, like, shitty quality food.
Yep.
It was
Yes,
50
of
bucks
course.
for me, Burry,
Overinflated.
and my friend have 3 burgers and 3 fries. And you can't forget the $6 shitty Dasani water. I could make a whole video about my beef with...
All right. We're going to, since it was requested, I want to, because this is the end of the show, I want to watch the continuation of this video.
Jail time. And this...
Okay, here it is. This is resuming right where we had left off. I want to watch a little more of this because this is where we were ending last week, and the person was nice enough to resubmit the video. So let's watch the end of this segment, and then that's it for this week, okay? All right, here we go.
would uncover something truly disturbing.
What if I paid for it? Mom, no, hey, let go. Okay, what is going to happen? Is it the underwear you gave me, Mom? For how long? Ma'am, ask her if it's a pink pair of underwear. Ask her if it's a pink pair of underwear. Ask her, I'm wearing them. Ow, my wrist! Ask her if it's a pink pair of underwear. I'll take them off. Mom! No, Mom, you gave me a pink pair of underwear. Does that come in the package? Did it? Yeah. Yeah, it did. Ma'am, I have
She's blaming the mom. Oh, Mom, did you just happen to hand me a pink pair of underwear out of the package that I could, like, what? Yeah, we're solely innocent in this. We thought that it went to the wrong house and it was ours, and they always get the order wrong anyway, and my mom just handed me the underwear, and I didn't know that. What are you talking about? What on earth are you talking about? If you don't know what, some people in chat are like, what is this? Watch last week's show. This was the very end of last week's show. These are people who are, they're called porch pirates, right? So what they do is they look around the neighborhood for people to get a package, and then they steal it right off their porch, and they keep it as their own. Well, in this case, this woman actually caught it. Like, she saw a package sitting on their step or whatever, and they kept the package. So what, it might have been misdelivered. Like, the one thing you could say in their defense, it may have been misdelivered and actually put on their porch instead of the person across the street's porch. But there's no right to keep someone else's package. And they did. They just took it in and just started unpacking the shit, keeping it all for themselves. And it was like hundreds of dollars of clothing. So the woman called the cops. The cops came over here, caught him red-handed. So this is it. Right now, she's admitting the last piece of clothing that's missing is a pair of panties that she's wearing right now.
Can you please tell her? Ma'am!
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Can you please? Mom, I don't have any shoes on. Mom!
Take a seat.
Oh my God! Help me, Mom! Can you please tell that lady my mom gave me the pink pair of underwear? Ask her if those are it. Can you ask her before you take me in? Can you? Sir, can you? Here.
Megan was wearing stolen underwear and asked if she could return it and not go to jail. She obviously wouldn't get an answer and was instead taken to jail and charged with theft. She was able to steal and even use the stolen items. But the next porch pirate was caught right in the middle of the theft.
Put it down.
All right, let's watch one more because I want to see this, by the way. And by the way, a tip has come in. I'm going to shout it out in a second. But I want to see the next one because that was so fast. I thought there was going to be more to it.
But still tried to defend himself with some of the dumbest stories the cops would ever hear.
Obviously, it wasn't an empty box.
I don't know. When I lifted it up, I thought it was all trash.
Okay.
On November 30th, 2022, Las Cruces police were monitoring a neighborhood for illegal activity when they unexpectedly caught a man stealing a package from an apartment front.
Put it down. Hey, firm. Turn around. Quick, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
It was a complete chance they were there.
What am I doing?
Keep your hand back there.
Dude, isn't that ours? That's ours, brother.
Put your hand behind your back.
That's not ours?
I'm not gonna ask any questions right now. Relax. Relax.
I thought it was ours.
I thought it was ours.
I know.
The man, unaware he was being watched, walked up to the package, walked away, then back again and grabbed it. He already gave a story claiming he thought that it was his, but this is the first of many embarrassing stories he would tell, as he didn't even know the house he was staying at.
Wow.
It's at the very end. It's
What's
215, 215, I believe.
Rico's place.
No, not Rico's. No.
Well, he lives in 215.
No, he does.
Yeah, he
no,
does.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
Oh no, it's not 215. It's 218.
Dude, obviously we know.
It's 218. It's like the last two. It's the last two before you hit the last end.
218 is vacant.
It's right. 211. Hold on. And I kind of figured you guys were watching me too. I was like, and I thought that was an empty box, honestly, because I need it. Empty box.
Hey,
I thought it was an empty box. Honestly, I thought it was.
The cops had been closely monitoring the area, so Gabriel wouldn't get very far lying to them. But this was excusable, though, as he was caught off guard, so he could claim to be anxious. However, after a walk to the patrol car, Gabriel had enough time to think, and that resulted in a huge disaster.
What?
wherever it came from.
Okay, I went over there. I saw one of my friends. I got that cigarette off my friend. And then when I was walking around the corner, he asked me, because he's moving.
What?
And that's what I was going to go do. I was going to go help him move.
Okay.
And I just saw the box there, and I figured I would go get the box because he needed boxes.
To move.
Yes.
Did it
And
stink?
yeah, well, when I lifted it up, I thought it was trash at first, and then when you guys came to, like when you guys rolled on me, I noticed that it was a closed package.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh dang! Like I didn't think at the moment what it was until when I saw you guys.
Okay. How does he think this story is ever going to fly at all? Like, what moron would believe it? It doesn't make any sense at all what he's even saying. I needed boxes to help my friend move. So I saw a box and I just grabbed it and I thought that it was full of trash, but it's not your box. Like, it doesn't even matter if that box was empty and full of trash. It's not his to take. It's on someone else's doorstep. It doesn't matter if it's trash. Unless there's a sign there that says, take me free. Because sometimes people will do that. They have something old. They want to give it. I'm giving away my old sofa. It's a piece of junk. Put it out. Take me, right? It's fine. It's yours. You can take it. But that's stupidity. On what on earth kind of story is this that he's telling?
And then that's why I didn't run or nothing, because I know I was.
Okay, well, I appreciate that.
I thought honestly, I thought it was trash, man. That's what I really thought it was.
Even though it was sealed up?
The funny part about this is it doesn't matter what he tells them. They're going to arrest him anyway. So just shut up, and if you get a lawyer, tell the lawyer this story. Or at least work with the lawyer to come up with a better story. Why are you trying to plead to the cop? It's just like the woman wearing the panties. Do you think if you admit that the panties are stolen, that the cop's going to not arrest you now? You have stolen clothing on you. Of course they're going to arrest you now. Why are you still telling this story?
Everything?
No, it didn't look sealed.
Yeah, come on over here, bro.
It didn't look sealed, brother. It didn't look sealed.
Okay, but it didn't feel like it. Obviously, it wasn't an empty box.
I don't know. When I lifted it up, I thought it was all trash. I don't do those type of
moronic.
things. Like I don't try and grab sealed packages like that. I thought it was just a box that was empty, but I thought it was trash when I lifted it. I didn't think at the moment, you know what I mean? Because that's what people do, is that they leave their trash right there in front of the door. You would think that people would like take their boxes in and stuff, you know?
Gabriel's well-thought-out story was that he wanted to load his friend's clothing into a sealed box of trash found on a neighborhood's front porch. This was somehow supposed to prove his innocence, but instead proved that Gabriel was a porch pirate headed for jail.
Man, please give me a break on this, man. I didn't know any better, man.
Give me a break. Come on, man. Give me a break on this one.
Please care about my life, man. I didn't mean to do any larceny, man. I was just looking out for a box, bro. I thought it was trash. That's what people usually do, is leave their trash out there.
When you thought it was a box?
I thought it was a box, empty box, and when I picked it up, I thought it was just trash inside
What did it feel like when you picked it up?
Like trash. Like, I didn't really realize what it was.
Some heavy trash.
Brother, I just got out of jail.
What were you in jail for?
For a warrant, brother.
What was the charge?
It was, no, it was a shoplifting, I guess.
Okay. Shoplifting.
No, wait, I wasn't even caught with that, brother. Like,
oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Gabriel, have a seat, please.
Man, you're like tripping me out right now, brother. I didn't mean to do this, and I just need a break.
You're going to jail. You're not getting a break.
Oh no.
Okay, do me a favor and take a seat.
Am I really going to jail today?
Put your feet inside. And put
No,
the
we're
seat
going
in.
to fucking Disneyland.
Man, I didn't know better.
We're going to In-N-Out. We're gonna get you some burgers.
Brother, I didn't know any better.
All right, I think that's enough of that. Wow, these people are something else. I still would like to keep watching the video. If someone wants to resubmit this again for another week, I would watch more of the video. This is a good video. All right, we have 2 contributions that came in at the end here. That's why I didn't want to freak anyone out. I told you, the tips have come in. I received a $21 tip from Tarantula. He says, this was a great show, Phil. Thank you, Tarantula. I appreciate that so very much. A $21 tip from Tarantula MS. And it is official. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, with that tip from Tarantula, we have hit the goal, and the King's streak now continues at 10 and running. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for your support. Of course, we got to do this. Hold on. Oh, wait. Now this is Level 1 Podcast. I forgot to turn this off. Darn it. All right, hold on. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready. It's my fault. Okay. The King Streak continues. Thank you, everyone, for supporting my content, for filling the coffers. I really appreciate it. 10 straight and climbing. Will the momentum ever end? I don't hope not, obviously. I want to keep it going. And it's been a great ride this week recovering from the baloney that happened earlier in the week. Thank you for supporting all of my content on all of my channels. I really appreciate that. By the way, for the record, there's another tip. I actually received a $7.77 tip. Hail to the King. I loved your brief look into the Rage Piggy Ralph. Yes, as I said, I was just getting early PKE readings on the entity known as Ethan Ralph. And perhaps in the future, there'll be something else going on. But for now, no, not really. So, but thank you for that. So not only did we hit the goal, we exceeded it, my friends. And that tip came in a while ago, too, but I was watching the clip and I didn't want to interrupt it. So, all right. So, guys, thank you so very much for a very great day. And, in fact, whoa, wait a minute. Now a contribution came in. It's membership from Dan the Man. 14 months. Thank you, Dan the Man, for 14 months of support on the channel. All right. I hope that you guys enjoyed DSP versus the internet. Really. And it was I thought it was a good week. It was a good variety of stuff. Thank you for watching. Next week, we do it all again. Same time, same place. If you become either an Ultra member or a Submissions tier member, you can nominate the clips for next week's show. All right? Thank you all. Great show. See you next time.